Coming at you from Scratch and Wolf Studio. It's time again to rage across the internet. Your very favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. To my left, we've got the most dangerous gunslinger in the West, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
And across from me, the only man I've known to take a knife to a gunfight and win, Mr. Tommy Dixon.
Like it. You won? I won. I don't even remember it, but I won.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Better now. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy recording day.
Happy recording day. Happy season 3.
Yes. Second episode, well, yeah.
That's right. I like that intro music, guys.
Yeah, give us some feedback if you guys like that one or not.
We ain't changing it.
Yeah, we're not going to change it, but let us know if you like it or not. Too bad.
There you go. We like it too much. It's here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Took me some few attempts on the intros and the outros, but yeah, I like it a lot. It's pretty good.
No, I'm definitely happy with it. But we're not here to talk about the music. We are here to bring you a show. We've got a show for you today.
I'm excited.
Oh, me too. This is
It's been a little while for this one.
Yeah, we've been planning this. This is, I would call this the first part of a spiritual 3-parter.
Okay, I know why you're saying it that way, but yeah.
You're losing me, but okay.
Well,
No,
you're a part of the schedule here too, Tom.
They're thematically
Oh, no,
linked.
I know what's going on. Just where he's going with it.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're thematically linked.
Oh, they are so linked.
And it's a little exciting. But before we get into that, now is a great time to, new year, new season, to thank everybody out there for listening. Thank all of our backers. You guys are the absolute best. If you want to become a backer, guess what? You can do that. You can head over to our Ko-Fi page, which is also linked to the website, and probably in the show notes, Danny?
Yeah, it's always in the show notes.
Excellent. And which is great. So you can join one of our membership tiers. We got the 4 tiers now, bronze through moon silver.
Love it.
And also the cool thing about Ko-Fi, whatever, is you can make a donation just apropos of nothing. You're like, hey, you guys deserve $1. Here's $1.
I mean, if that's what you want,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to support us, keep things going. We will every now and then theoretically run deals through there. We just ended our Guilty Bundle, which if you took advantage of that, thank you again. Congratulations. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, and let us know if you did.
Yep, definitely.
Those are a lot of fun to put together, and I'm excited to do the next set.
Oh, yeah. December backers just got their first chapter of The Hard and the Easy, our 3rd season postmortems.
Yep.
And I'll go on a limb, is if anyone decides to back this month, I'll include last month's.
Wow.
So you can, you get the first part too.
Okay, that's very kind of you.
Yeah, I just decided that. That's a New Year's gift.
Thanks for discussing that first.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you know what? It's Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
There you go.
New Year's present to you guys.
Yeah. Fine.
Danny's a little pissed. I don't
know about pissed.
Sorry.
I'm a little surprised, but
well, you don't want to get into a story on the 2nd chapter.
Right. No, I get it.
Like, we're not doing the first 2 when you sign up in February. But just this one.
That's fine.
Holidays, it's a busy time. Fuck it.
And that's why I'm okay with it.
He's going to cut all of this.
No.
He's like, you're not doing that. Cut.
Nah, I won't cut that. Because, I get it. It's the holidays. People are busy. People probably didn't have the money because of that. So
right? I mean, there's enough shit to buy in December.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah, so thought it'd be nice.
Sure.
But hey, if you don't feel comfortable, don't want to, can't afford a monetary contribution, that's totally cool. We don't mind. We understand. Do us a favor, likes, thumbs up, get the word out.
Share us around. Let people know what we're all about.
Exactly. Let's give the gift of us to other people.
Put us in their ear holes.
That's right. I was trying to avoid saying that because we do that a lot.
That's fine. I like it. I'm going to keep saying it.
All right.
Tom likes ear holes. Got
There's a lot of ear hole deposits around Scratch and Wolf Studio, and I know what I said.
A little bit.
But hey, without further ado, what do you say we get into what we're getting to?
Yes, please.
So, there are many places in the Umbra that are exceedingly dangerous.
Oh yeah, we had an entire dangerous don't list.
And there's plenty of dangerous don't to go around the Umbra.
Dangerous don't err.
But arguably nothing is worse than Malfeas.
Arguably,
dangerous don'tiest.
At the dangerous don'tiest. Of all the wonders and horrors out there, this is the worst.
Yeah, this is not where you want to go.
No. This is the home of the Temple Obscura and the Umbral seat of the Worm's power. And so today we bring you...
The Attack on Malfeas.
The Attack on Malfeas. There we go, Danny.
You got to say it.
Yeah. Well, again, we've been planning it for a while. We knew it was going to happen. We already had the show name. But then we look into this, and, Porter obviously has his research done. He knows 90% of this shit already. Tom and I are looking into it and researching for the first time. Or maybe not first time, but, actually diving into the first time. And it's like, holy shit, do we really want to attack this place?
No.
No, we don't.
No.
Well, it's a metaphorical attack.
Yes, but still, scary as shit.
Even if you had every Garu in the nation, good luck still.
It's definitely not the place you want to be.
No.
And to prepare for this, which is also, the last of our near realms.
It's true.
I didn't even think about it that way, yeah.
No, it was planned that way. That's why we got Ethereal Realm out there before the new year.
Good point. I guess I should just put two and two together.
You just did.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks. Well,
Yeah,
you did it for
epiphany
me.
over there.
We got some math time in here too. Look at that. It's educational.
Who says we're not educational?
Right? We're learning and shit. But because this was such a large ordeal and such a big ticket item in terms of realms go, we did something a little different than we normally do. Is each of us took a different edition of the Book of the Worm to compare and contrast and to talk about. So there will be changes, there will be differences in what we're talking. Knowledge will drop off between editions, new stuff will come up, old stuff will be dropped, but we're going to talk about all of it.
I think that makes the most sense because there's so much information that, how could we all pick one book and then just talk about it when there are so many different versions of that?
No, absolutely. And, the neat thing about Malfeas, is...
Okay. Not the scary thing.
Right, is that it's not necessarily always the same.
No.
This is a realm that grows and does change over time. So just because something was dropped in first edition doesn't mean that it can't still be there.
This is also a realm that's not very big. But in considering to the other realms, at least it's stated in 20, it's not as big as the other realms because everything grows up instead of out.
I can see where you're going from there.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, no, it's getting bigger.
Well,
It is, but it's also getting taller more than wider.
wouldn't that be nice?
It would be nice.
I was trying to avoid that.
It was right there.
Another thing that shocked me is it's located in the deep Umbra.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is we call it a near realm. It's kind of considered a near realm, but it's actually in the deep Umbra, which means usually you need an anchorhead to go through.
Okay.
Which
No, and it makes sense why you. Because I was thinking that if it's a near realm, but it's in the deep Umbra, why? But that kind of makes sense, especially if it's taller rather than wider. Still can't get over that. But then you need the anchorhead. It's
You need an anchorhead, but yet you can take moon bridges there.
you can, and this also introduces the concept of callums.
We'll see. That puts it into perspective too. But
Right, which are worm domains that also, they exude Malfeas's influence, English, what up, and serve as anchorheads directly to Malfeas. So you've got those right there.
Now, again, we all picked different editions here. I liked the very first few sentences was just from Book of the Worm 2nd edition. The realm was formed from the knot and the primordial pattern webs, which worm was twisted, as twisted around itself. And during the struggle to escape, it's clawing at the webs and the patterns, and the different regions built from shreds and tatters of that pattern web is what makes the different areas of the realm.
Not how it's laid out in 20.
I just thought it was cool, just the way it's picture that in your head.
Oh, that's awesome, picturing that.
No, absolutely.
And everyone made the joke because we did the Atrocity Realm, and I got the shivers from that, and I'm a little squeamish, and everyone made fun of me, which is fine.
Imagine that.
But that's nothing compared to when I'm reading Malfeas, and that makes me want to throw up.
Oh boy.
There's definitely some shit with larger implication in the realm. And we'll get to that stuff as we go, definitely. We talk about entry, though. There's also, there are moon bridges there. There's the Callums. Let's not forget the train from Scar.
That's true.
Yes.
Which still shocks me. This is in the Deep Umbra. And specifically in 20, it says, it's easy to reach here. It's very easy to get to. Well, but that's the Deep Umbra. You can just pop into Malfeas whenever you want.
Well, and I mean, that's a little bit the beauty of the worm, isn't it? It's a little Hotel California.
Oh, yeah.
Check in anytime you want, but you can't never leave.
Yeah, you can never leave.
They want you to come in. Mm-hmm. It's out that becomes the tricky thing.
See, and I know because I looked at both of your guys' editions prior with the research, and you have entry and exit. It's not in 20.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact. I went through all of Malfeas, and there's no entry and exit. It's just moon bridges. And
it's because it's that easy.
Because it's just that easy.
Jesus.
Well, I know we were talking, I think we were talking last night, Tom, about how there are exits in Malfeas that lead to the abyss.
Yep. So you're not going anywhere better.
Right? And I look at that the other way around, and what a fucking bummer that would be. You're in the abyss, you're there a few days trying to find an exit, and you finally find your way to an exit portal, and you end up in the fucking Temple Obscura.
Good luck.
Yeah, right? But I mean, that was a thing that could happen. We were looking at that just last night. It's a fucking bummer.
I mean, yeah, we covered that in the Abyss too, where it's just you could just pop in anywhere.
Right.
It's a bad day. Bad day in hell.
Okay.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Would this be your version of hell, Danny?
Probably. Like I said, when the atrocity make me shiver, this makes me throw up. Not physically. Just...
I was about to say literally, or
I'm glad I wasn't there while you were researching.
Yeah, my computer's disgusting now.
Fun.
At the first level of the...
Oh, yeah.
So I guess when we talk about Malfeas, let's start with the start. I think the most prominent thing to talk about is the Central Duchy.
Yes. And I guess it all depends on which edition? Because I don't know what the differences are on your two.
It's pretty much the same.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. The Central doesn't really change.
Not so much. It's like a madman's version of an industrial park. And you add that with the worst aspects of Dark Ages Europe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you just get this twisted maze of horrors and girders going up into,
Mm-hmm. But then the throne platform in dead center.
I see in it as the Grand Cathedral.
Okay.
Right when you step foot, you see this Grand Cathedral. Not in the other editions.
Well, maybe. It depends on where you're going with it. Because something, and you're going to hear this more than once, is the naming conventions.
Oh, they're so different.
Yes, they change. So I might know exactly what you're talking about, but not by name.
Okay, so it's just different name, got it.
So one of these large structures is the massive Grand Cathedral with an enormous stained glass window depicting tentacled monstrosities erupting beneath the earth. The cathedral is dedicated to all the heads of the Hydra and is the only place in all of Malfeas that openly welcomes those loyal to any of these heads.
See, that's cool. I don't have that. That's cool as hell.
Okay.
Now, I will say that there's rumors in terms of the Central Duchy that long-neglected portals exist there leading to entire realms. The worm is forgotten in its madness.
Okay.
The difference, and I guess the different additions here, a circular stone dais rises from the ground in the middle of the courtyard, the spiral carving on its face obscured by grisly stains caked on for centuries. Overlooking one end of the yard is a massive cathedral facade with an enormous stained glass window depicting tentacled monstrosities erupting from beneath the earth.
Yeah, so it's the same as mine.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so it's a little
that's
different.
in there, yeah.
Beneath the window, a wide balcony commands a full view of the courtyard.
Which I also have, which is where number 2 holds their services.
Oh.
Number 2.
Number 2. We'll get on to number 2 in a
Who
little bit.
does number 2 work for?
Oh, he got it in and I didn't. I told Porter I was going to make number 2 jokes.
And then here you are,
Stealing the
just
thunder.
fucking sandbagging.
I didn't know you were going to do it.
That's fine.
I was waiting for the first opportunity to do so. I
We
was going to
both
make.
were.
I don't think
Right.
I was going to make it the only time too. So
No, that's what I told us. I was going to do it once, and that was it.
See, I'm the guy who wasn't going to make that reference.
really,
Oh, yeah.
at all,
I don't like Austin Powers.
fair. That's fair.
Mike Myers has yet to make me laugh. I don't know.
So not only is the Grand Cathedral there, along with that stone structure that has all those stains, which I'm assuming are sacrifice stains. Right.
Sounds logical.
There's all those iron cages. Black iron cages.
Yes, I was about to talk about the cages. See, look at that shit. Obviously, the cages are there. They're up in the girders, just hanging out there where captives are tortured and sometimes sacrificed, which would go back to the dais. And
Right.
It's interesting. They're also guarded by, quote, dreadbanes.
Dreadbanes?
That is the quote that I have.
Mine just says powerful banes.
I think mine sound better.
Dread
Yours
sounds
way
cool.
better.
Yeah, I mean, dread kind of goes with the theme of this fucking place.
Right. And I mean, it's the interesting thing about this, the central duchy, because it's all like stone towers, like jutting out at odd angles, weird like loops and clusters of shit in valves, and
Factories and there's just stuff everywhere. And
Yes.
it doesn't make sense.
no, not to us,
Not to,
No.
not to the human mind, I guess.
right?
Or the Garu mind.
There's got to be a level of spiraldom, of wormishness,
Dread?
insanity, perhaps.
Very easily.
That I think helps go along with that. Yeah, but this is generally speaking where you're going to start when you enter the realm.
Yes.
Yes.
It's right, the first thing you see right when you get there.
Assuming a normal path, not an abyss portal or, again, the train. I mean, we can only speculate where the fucking train goes.
Well, that was
'cause no
that
one
was going to be
knows.
my next question. Is it the same place the train drops you off?
Well, no, because remember, the train in Scar is delivering the weaponry, like all the shit that those spirits are manufacturing.
You're going to pop into one of those factories.
Probably.
That's kind of why I had that question. So I wasn't sure. Yeah, I remember the train is where the husks of the different weaponry and fetishes they refine and build. Yeah.
I would speculate that would be dropped off probably several stops along the duchies of some of the Maljan and Karna.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to get
It makes
We'll get
sense.
there.
Yeah.
So now, if you go into this place, obviously not of Worm, and you spend more than a day there, you're going to begin hearing whispers, and your skin begins to turn gray and sickly. Within a day,
So is that like the corruption starting? But
the
like
corruption is starting.
okay.
This is obviously Worm 20. And then, so if you escape within a week, these afflictions will, and then, obviously they didn't finish warping your mind just yet. You weren't there long enough. Within a couple weeks, you will actually naturally heal that away. But if you are there for longer than a month, that stuff sticks with you.
I was gonna say there's no way they can heal that fast.
No, if you were there for longer than a month and you manage to escape Malfeas, those whispers stay with you permanently.
Oh shit! The whispers.
The whispers.
I can see like the gray and
The
the
skin
fur
that
and the
stays
skin.
with you permanently too until you cleanse it.
You get some good exfoliate. Maybe Dr. Squatch.
Hey, not sponsored.
And that's, damn it. Well, while we're on, perfect. You son of.
He's stealing both of our stuff.
I know.
He's got all our bits.
Yeah, get yourself some.
Freezing?
Oh Christ!
I
When
didn't
did this guy?
I don't know. I didn't even see that one coming either.
Freezing?
Hey, there's another.
Fuck both you guys.
Season 3, ladies and gentlemen. What the fuck? Danny comes alive. God damn. But no, going back to that, the idea of surviving in Malfeas a month all by itself
Oh, I don't think
is
I'd
an
survive.
impressive fucking feat.
Just hearing you can escape. Just escaping it, period.
This is also not an easy sell.
No.
I don't know. I think I just sacrificed myself and it's like fuck this. I'm done after like a few days.
No, they wouldn't allow you to.
Oh really?
I don't think they would.
Well, I think they'd try their best to not allow that.
Right.
But, I mean, what's a dead Garu or two? Come on.
But they live on that torture.
That's true.
Yeah.
They end up in a cage. Or dragged down to the Temple Obscura.
Though that would suck.
Or maybe you get lost in the Nightmare Gardens. Which, interestingly enough, is not called the Nightmare Gardens in first edition. It just seemed like the logical place, right?
That's fine. I was going to go to the castle, but
So
okay.
it doesn't call it in first edition?
It doesn't. It's known specifically as Dream/Nightmare, which we, at that point put like a duchy of in front of, or
Right.
Garden of Nightmares.
I was going to say here, second edition, Garden of Nightmares.
Yes.
But fucking close enough.
But
Nightmare Garden, Garden of Nightmares.
irksome when you're...
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because Worm 20 is the Nightmare Garden. So.
Right, like it's officially the Nightmare Garden. I know that. Or the Garden of Nightmares. Either way, that's fine. But when you go into first edition and the section is called Dream/Nightmare.
They weren't ready for it.
They weren't ready for it. They were not prepared for Malfeas.
No.
They didn't do their edition. They didn't go in the future and look at the other editions. They didn't consolidate. They should have.
How dare you?
Right.
This is why you make them PDFs and you can just edit them later.
There you go. How dare you not have normalized the internet before this book came out?
How dare you?
So what is the Nightmare Garden?
It's kind of the next step. It's off the Central Duchy, is kind of everything is, because the word central is in there.
So just think of everything as off of the Central Duchy from going forward, guys.
Right.
That's kind of what I thought. Kind of like a hub. Kind of like Detroit is, right? It's center and everything.
Center of the wheel.
The center of the wheel and everything spokes out from there. How I interpret it, at least.
Well, and again, I think it's the best way, because, we have that. They use the word central.
And everything touches the Central. So
There's the implication they couldn't say no because of it. So, the Garden of Nightmares...
They wanted to say no.
Well, we don't know that. But they never would because of the implication.
Right, no, I get it.
Anyway, off the Central Duchy, you have an archstone gateway leading to this formal garden. Each turn it's decorated with, victims undergoing torture. Fountains of streams that run red with blood, or black streaming poisons. Once you go through this gate, the garden seems to extend. And you've got all these branching paths. It would be extremely, I guess, very peaceful if you were like a Satan.
That's an odd way to put it.
But I want to focus here is on these branching paths. Because you're not walking into Malfeas alone.
No.
And certainly not in our scenario here.
Not with a death wish.
So you and your pack, you're running through, and what's going to happen is you go through this garden is you are going to lose track of your people.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Yep, each one of you gets separated.
Exactly.
And you'll, never see each other again.
Right. They'll just disappear. And it's not that they've gone anywhere, but they have. It's not as simple as, hey, if you're holding hands or something, they're not... But, the second you let go, they'll vanish.
Yeah, it's its own labyrinth.
It is. It's an ever-changing one, too.
And if you don't know what's going to happen when you get there, I can almost see it like packs going in, but everyone's got a rope tied to them.
And then, little by little, those little branching ropes just start going limp.
Yeah.
Because, the further you go in, the further it extends, and the more unhinged it gets.
The scarier, the less stable almost.
Right. And it mentioned, this kind of amused me in my research, is it actually says, and I'm going to pull the quote here from First Edition, there are no spirits or banes here from whom to ask directions. Because that was going to be your first move, right?
Yes.
It says it in second edition too. Not the exact same words, but it was, there are no spirits or banes here to offer directions.
I just love the idea that, fuck man, we're lost here. I know, I'm going to ask a scrag. He will steer me in the right direction, assuredly. Fuck it.
Well, there are other places that...
We blew a tire. Can you use spirals? Got a jack?
They could just lift it up.
They could.
Yeah. Why are you driving a car through the woods?
I don't... Look, it fell apart immediately.
Okay.
But the absurdity is what I'm focusing on.
I know what you're saying. Because, there are other places, though, that's kind of the only way to get around is to ask, banes for directions.
Right, which, again, is the weirdest goddamn concept.
Right, but they can't be trusted anyway, so...
Right.
One thing that does work, though, your gifts that allow packs to communicate with each other. So Mindspeak will actually work.
Is that a fact?
Interesting.
According to 20, yes.
I see. This is the cool thing. I love these little differences. You know, it's like, it doesn't say you can't do that here, but I wouldn't have thought it.
Says it in 20 that it can be done, but you will still be trapped and alone in your little area.
And that's the thing to point out, too, is that if you lose a member of your group, you lose sight of them, you will not be able to find them again.
Nope.
No amount of searching or shouting or smoke signals or fucking flares are going to do anything. Because they've slipped into their own dream realm, their own nightmare realm, specifically.
See, and that's where it differs in 20, because at the end of these narrowing paths is where it brings you in to the dream zone.
See, that's interesting, because here, first edition.
Yeah.
Look, I took first, Danny took second, Tom took
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe we should have said that already, but hey.
Yeah.
I thought we did.
We might have. Who knows? Well, I don't pay attention to the shit that comes out of our mouths.
It's fair.
Me neither.
But yeah, further you go, the lighter the traces of path become, and it gets just into fucking woods, and it's a nightmare. But in first, you can gain control in acknowledge that you're in a dream realm. It's not like you get to the goal and you've made it, and now you're in a safe dream realm, but you can get there through a roll. That you can discover that you can control the nature of the surroundings somewhat. And then if you hit a certain success threshold, then you can go deeper.
That's weird, but kind of awesome. It's a little different for second, though. Mm-hmm. Because, they gave even storyteller notes where the storyteller should begin playing on the personal fears of each of the characters.
Absolutely.
That's the same in 20, yeah.
Yep.
And then, tailoring the nightmares to each of the individuals. But at the same time, if you're going to be in a group here, you should be. A skilled Thurge or other accomplished Umbral navigator might be able to eventually find her friends and lead them to safety. Although it's never easy, and sadly enough, the Gardens of the Nightmare are perhaps one of the safest ways out of Malfeas.
I don't know how I feel about that. Not the safest thing, but the Thurge being able to. Like that concept?
Well, it's once they get into the dream zone, that's when the Thurge is able to, if they're able to realize it. That's where they're getting it.
Yeah,
It's the same in 20. You have to be through the woods and in the dream zone at that point.
I guess I should have specified, thank you, Tom, yeah.
All right, yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, then withdrawn.
Yeah. No, you're out of the woods by that time.
Because I'm looking at it like, I love the idea of, no, you lose sight.
And you never fucking
It's just
find
gone.
them. Yep.
And I mean, maybe somehow, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. Just random happenstance. If you're lucky.
Right, that becomes the personal struggle of that guy caught in his own nightmare, and can he get through it? Mm-hmm. Nothing you can do can get him out of it.
Okay, yeah.
I love that idea. So no, once it's in the dream, that's a different thing. Okay.
Yeah, it was my mistake. I probably should have specified that a little bit more, but still, it's the differences between the editions.
Right, and I love that idea of that Garden of Nightmares. I picture like these big, thick, tentacled, spiked vines. Like those thorns that are like they're so big and so sharp now it's like fucking daggers.
Yeah.
Maybe Audrey too, a little shop going on. Forget the musical, but just
I'm just picturing a labyrinth always changing with those vines closing off paths and new ones opening.
Yeah.
Everything keeps changing in front of you as you walk.
There's so many different places of Malfeas that does that, though. This is just the garden version of it.
Right, but like the idea, Ghost has taken point, and like you're in mid-sentence, and you turn around to look back at Jaeger, and not only is Jaeger not there,
there's a
but
wall.
the path you were on, it's just like a wall of fucking tightened up vines. Mm-hmm. They're all bleedy and go into a little brook full of poison or acid or some shit.
Oh my god.
It's exactly what I'm picturing it.
Right?
And then you eventually have to traverse through this place to get to the dream zone to hopefully get out. But you have to battle your own nightmares, which, good luck.
Yeah, because that can't be easy.
And maybe, nothing said it can't be. Mm-hmm. Remnants of nightmares of people who have been lost to the garden.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
You start seeing your own nightmares, and all of a sudden you see another one. It's like, wait, this isn't anything I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And then you see why. Oh,
shit. Yeah,
But that could tip you off that you are in a dream Dreamland or Nightmare Realm. Or
Maybe, but that doesn't necessarily save you from anything.
No, but it still tips you off
yeah.
where, okay, so maybe I could do something about this.
And it's not any less scary or dangerous either.
It's just something that came to me.
That was cool.
You know, just a few maybe really ancient whatever fucking things that have endured past that are just lurking there.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't mess with the garden.
What
guys.
up?
Don't mess with the
Don't mess with the garden.
No, that's not the place to plant tomatoes. Just don't.
But again, they say that once you hit that dream zone, it's probably the safest way out. One of the safest ways.
Which is...
Well, out of that dream
Malfeas.
zone. It's not out of Malfeas. It's not out of Malfeas.
Sadly enough, the Gardens of the Nightmare are perhaps one of the safest ways out of Malfeas.
I didn't have that in 20. It was just out of that realm, out of that part of Malfeas.
And we're talking the differences in additions here. So,
Well, and at that point, it could be both.
Mhm.
You know, both could be true.
Why not?
You know, paths 1, 2, and 3 lead back to the Central Duchy. Or to the Duchy of rationality and irrationality.
Well, that's where we're going next.
Yeah, why not? But, you know, maybe the paths 4, 5, and 6 take you right to, take you the fuck out of the realm.
Now, you called it the what?
The Duchy of rationality / irrationality, which is already me taking liberties because the word Duchy of does not appear.
Well, I was going to say, rationality and irrationality is definitely not part of second edition unless it's called something different again.
Well, it absolutely is.
Okay.
What's it called, Danny?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, for 20, it's reason and unreason.
Interesting.
See, I know we talked about that
Yes,
last
we did.
night. Because I mentioned, you're like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I was just like, wait. And then when I was reading it, oh yeah, it's reason and unreason for me.
And interestingly enough, they're identical.
Yeah.
Just the name change, and I think that was a good idea. Because reason and unreason is it's a smoother,
It's a bit, it's not as confusing.
right?
I mean, I don't know what it would be called in here. Because I have in second edition, there's the Melgen Duchies.
Prior to that.
You have the...
Prior.
Theoretically.
Should be.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't know, you know.
It depends on how that one's laid out.
Or it might not even be in second edition.
I don't think it's in here. As you know, it might be called something different, but
It's almost like you're flipping through a book right now while we're on the air.
yeah, it is. It's exactly what it is.
You creep.
So second edition doesn't have it.
No, not at all.
Interestingly enough. Well, Tom, why don't you tell us about reason and unreason?
Reason and unreason. There is a overlooked corner of the courtyard in the Central Duchy that literally has a pair of tiny conjoined realms at unguarded doors. 2 unguarded doors.
Unguarded.
Unguarded.
Almost like an invitation.
Like, yeah, come on over. So both realms in these doors exist as a single large rectangular room. The only entrances to the room are the 2 doors that sit side by side. The door on the right is white, covered in precise and exceedingly complex black linear patterns, and opens to the realm of reason, which, what do we call it in yours?
Rationality.
The realm of rationality. The other door, now if someone enters via the door of unreason, or the opposite door, this room is very confusing.
Okay.
This room has strange ticks of perspective and irregular walls that prevent anyone determining its shape or size. It also holds several dozen exceedingly striking and very odd works of abstract art, as well as dozens of books of various sizes placed in oddly shaped tables and shelves.
See, that's different
Yeah, weird.
than what I've got.
Because the realm of reason is just like walking into a library.
Yeah, you left that part out, but yeah,
Sorry,
that's the
I
same.
did leave that part out.
You
sorry.
totally did.
Oops.
So
So when
like-
you walk into the realm of reason, it's like walking into a giant library.
Which tracks with its rationality, the other version. However, from my angle, the, I guess, unreason or door of irrationality
Unreason and irrationality. Okay.
is the same thing, except everything is upside down, and all of the books are just fucking gobbledygook.
Really?
It's like everything was printed in Wingdings.
That would suck.
Wingdings. Wow.
Which is, I appreciate that change. Because this is, like on my end, it's a little wacky.
Oh, they make it more wacky. I didn't even finish.
Oh, well, please. Yours is more like macabre, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, hold on. The room itself only remains static while someone watches it. So looking too close at one item allows one item allows the rest of the room to reconfigure itself.
Oh, fuck off.
It's like, oh, that book over there, I've seen that before. And then as soon as you look away from that book, everything fucking changed.
Yup, you don't know where you are.
Holy shit.
And now I've got an image of, like, the Necronomicon, except, like, all the spines are where the face is.
Oh.
And, like, every book has, like, a face spine.
Oh,
and they're all just, like, ready, like they're about to run a fucking race. Like, as soon as you look away, they're like, oh, go, 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 go. Quick, get to that shelf. Fuck it.
So now, the only thing that I got is the only reason you would use these rooms is to research something, obviously.
Books, check them out.
Books. Yeah, I wouldn't check out any of the books in the Unreason.
If you could read them.
Hey, you just scan them, you switch it from Wingdings to Times New Roman. It's fine.
Oh. Well,
Maybe Garamond. Nice Garamond.
So
Career
there are
nerd.
actual mechanics. When I was mentioning it, there are actual mechanics where if you were doing research in one of the rooms, if you go into Worm 20, you can read up on the mechanics. I'm not going to go over them. It's pretty in depth. But you get bonuses to rolls on doing certain things and stuff like that.
But you can only learn that once you're in there
Once
researching.
you're researching this specific thing you're looking for.
Huh.
And now, at least in the first edition, those books all tend to be along the lines of black magic, sadomasochism, poisonings. Like you're not going to find green eggs and ham in this particular library.
That's my favorite one.
I know, and someday you'll finish it. But it's also worth noting that you can get, there are moon bridges that can be opened from that room.
Yes, both rooms.
Yes.
Yes.
Room. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's two different. I mean, it's two realms. But
It is two realms, but So like, there's direct pathing. There is the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. But kind of cool. It makes sense, though.
But here's the kicker.
No, it doesn't. I lied. It
Here's
doesn't
the
make
kicker,
sense.
though. If you open a moon bridge in the realm of reason, you will transport yourself to one of the largest and densest webs in the near Umbra.
Okay.
That's the one in reason. Now, if you do the one in unreason, you'll transport yourself to a large wilding in the near Umbra.
I gotta tell you, go with the Wilding.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
That would be easier to try to get out of.
Right? I mean, anything could happen
Arguably,
there.
Sure, but
Right, like
But a dense pattern web,
right.
you're caught pretty quick there.
no, I get it.
And no one wants you there. You got a chance in the Wilding that you could,
Because they're doing their thing.
right. That
You get a
might
chance
be okay.
to sneak away.
No, again, I agree with you. It's still arguable between storyteller.
Fair.
Oh, yeah, like it can be bad no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just
Everything
it's
here is
guaranteed to be bad with the web,
Just don't open a moon bridge in there.
right?
Hey,
Just turn around, walk out the door if you can find it.
I know. I think it's cool, and they're bringing that around to, they get the rationale and irrationale, and then the reason and unreason, but it also links to the Wyld and the Weaver.
I still think it's weird that it's not in second edition.
That is a little strange. Also, so if you go through the unreason irrationality door and everything's all upside down, do you fall when you go through? Or is the door still on the bottom?
Storyteller discretion.
And just,
Yeah, I like that though.
No,
The door is up.
like you walk through and fuck!
The door is anywhere. It's up,
I mean,
down,
there's
around,
been-
left, west.
yeah, on
Boom.
that wall. Yeah, no, I can see it. There have been
And then,
several video games that happens. You walk through that door, and the room is like sideways. So yeah, you fall to where gravity's holding you, and maybe gravity's different on this room, and then when you...
Maybe there is no gravity. You never know. It's unreasonable.
Or you're staring at that one book, and as everything changing around you, gravity happens again, and you go a different direction.
Slam into the wall.
And I actually feel that makes a great segue, but I kind of want to... I've been leading this charge so far.
Go for it.
Oh no,
You're
segue
good.
it up.
All right, that leads us to the Wyld Founts, I think.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I wanted to go next.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. I think there's some differences from Jump Street on this one, but I don't remember. I know we talked about it a little bit last
We'll
night.
let you lead in it then.
All right. That's high above the girder framework of the Central Duchy. This is where we're starting our tale.
Always off that central courtyard.
Yeah. There's a large crystalline sphere that randomly emits multicolored lights. It's like a super disco ball, right? Like 60 yards in diameter. It looks to be made of crystal or glass.
When I first read it, I'm like, oh, it's the all-seeing eye from Lord of the Rings.
See, I was thinking it's time to disco, baby.
That too.
But there is a large spiral staircase that travels from ground level past the spear and upwards. See, that looking at Tom, he's like, "I ain't got that shit here."
No, it's almost verbatim for second edition.
So as you get up there, it seems the sphere is like a solid milky white, and it's like rapidly swirling with bits of colors. It's kind of like for television, like the snow on TV. For those of you who are over 30.
Channel 3 is the only one you have to go to play your video games.
Right. It's hard to explain. It's hard to describe it to some of our younger people out there. Because you guys might not have lived in a world where, once upon a time, if you didn't have a channel...
Just called it
white
snow.
Noise.
Yeah, it would be white noise. We called it snow. It was like just
snow.
static.
I often refer to it as the white ants versus the black ants.
You're super weird, though.
Yeah, well, you're right, but...
Causing an ant race war.
Or it was the channel you needed to switch to turn your Nintendo on.
Right.
Yes,
But like
that's what I'm
today,
saying.
that shit doesn't exist. It's just like the blue or black screen of no signal.
Yeah, yours is just a black screen now.
And it's like, nothing.
I don't even know if there's a blue screen anymore.
I think it depends on your TV.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway,
yeah. If you guys ever seen Poltergeist, that weird shit that's
You ever
happening to
seen
the
The
TV.
Ring?
The Ring, there you go. Anyway, we call that snow.
It's funny to think about, because we know what the hell we're talking about.
Right, but like there are people out there who
know.
have no concept of that.
That's so weird.
And it's hard to describe already. So,
Showing our age. That sucks.
very cold outside.
Yes, it is. Stupid snow.
But inside this thing is a wilding vortex. It's an ancient and immensely powerful spirit that's been in Malfeas since Malfeas was first created.
Again, almost verbatim for a second, so...
not how it goes in 20.
Oh, yeah?
That sphere is a portal in 20.
Well, yeah, okay.
But that's all they say it is.
Oh.
That's it?
It's just a portal.
But doesn't tell you where?
Oh, no, it tells you where. I was
You just
gonna
said that's all
I was
it
going to
says.
let Porter get to it.
Oh.
No, because it still leads to the same place. in
Okay,
all
yeah.
versions. But there's no spirit in it. It's just a portal.
See, yeah, like here, they're like, you branch out the staircase, and it's like this whole little airlock doorway thing
Yep.
to get into
That's
the
the
sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes victims of Malfeas are just thrown in there. And occasionally something is summoned from it. But, they mentioned that if some method could be found to open both doors of this airlock at once, massive damage could be done to Malfeas as the vortex runs wild.
Because this doorway leads to flux.
Okay.
See, it doesn't mention flux itself here.
Nope.
But, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it does go through flux. And, there's a river that comes from this shit.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to... Tom, why don't you take it from there?
Okay, so there is a connection to flux for a reason.
It's a fucking nefarious one.
Very, and we had a good time talking about this last night.
Yeah, the implication here is fucked up.
A pair of slender pipes, each no more than a foot across, runs down the scaffolding from the front and into a vast circular pool, several hundred yards in diameter. A number of toxic filters corrupt the font's wild energies so that they resonate with Malfeas' nature, but retain a portion of the creative power. So they're siphoning flux energy into a pool.
What the fuck?
Right.
This pool is called the Wellspring, and at its center, a torrent of foul water fountains go up against almost 100 yards into the air. And out of that, Banes and other creatures slowly form out of the mist that surround the Wellspring. They drift towards the edge of the pool where slaves will pull them out. These guys are generating Banes.
It's
Fucking red!
right, and there's differences here in the additions, but they amount to the same thing. What I can tell you about was the font of Dark Possibilities, as it's named in first edition, which I kind of love.
A little bit. I like that name better, but the 20th version just seems to make a little bit more sense on what's happening.
I mean, there's more to it still.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Wellspring also turns into a river.
Yes.
And then runs through Malfeas, going to each factory and all the Melgian duchies.
Of course it does.
So this flux energy is going all through Malfeas. Malfeas.
Right, because this is the way, I mean, it is brought up. This is as close as the worm can get to ever creating something, is by stealing these flux energies. So through the font, the worm can create Banes and, quote, even more powerful minions, which is just a fucking...
It's bad news bears. I mean, it's no wonder we're losing the war. These guys have an infinite amount of Banes they can just keep making.
I almost wonder if, as Worm is essentially stealing this wild energy, or filtering it through, is it slowly corrupting the other side of Flux?
I mean, that's entirely possible.
I don't see why not.
No, I mean,
But more so, they're just pulling from it, so I wouldn't see the corruption, because they're filtering it.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
mean,
a
it's like, the starting point.
No, it's a good thought. Now we're thinking about it.
I would
I
argue.
would see it's more like a waterfall.
Yeah, exactly, where it's
can't
pure
go
up
up.
here, and then once it,
Yeah, they're filtering it so they can control it. So.
Yeah, like at the bottom of the waterfall, that's the toxic shit. It's fine up there. You can drink that water.
I get it. It's a thought.
No, it was a good thought.
Drink that water, though.
No, yeah, it just... Oh, and here's something, too. I've talked before, I think on the show, probably on the show,
Probably.
I doubt it.
about the nature of the Nexus Crawler.
Yeah, we've mentioned Nexus Crawlers.
And the potential origins outside of the worm. However, when you factor in the Wyld Founts here, the font of dark possibilities, that...
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Suddenly the nature of the Nexus Crawler, maybe this is exactly where they came from.
That makes a lot of sense.
That flux energy combined with the worm energy suddenly...
So that's how they're making the crawlers. They could be through that wellspring.
Could be through that wellspring. I mean, we've made other speculations about the origin of the Nexus Crawler before, but here's another possibility now.
Yeah, they're the original...
This one sticks really well, though.
It does.
No, I remember what you're saying, because with the Nexus Crawler, I remember the speculation they originally were from
the wild that had been...
right? It just got corrupted, right?
Yeah. Maybe they had been created here. It could. I mean, either one can work.
I think that's a sweet-ass idea right there.
Right? That's just like, fuck. I will say, too, they also mention, at least in first edition, that somewhere downriver, because, again, the river goes it goes
Malfeas.
fucking everywhere, that there is it doesn't say where. So, but they'll come to an area where the liquid is brewed into a powerful, quote, black drink.
It's not in 20.
Yeah, I know it's not. A potent elixir widely used by minions of the worm to facilitate corruptions. That's all it says, but there's just...
speculation upon speculation.
Something to play with. Now, I hate to do this.
Uh-oh.
Well, because, we talked about having a nice, fluid, like here's our little travel map through this fucking nightmare.
You can't
There's
map
no
this
such
place.
thing.
It's even stated in the book. Good luck trying to map this place.
Right. I mean, we're doing decently.
Yeah.
I mean, we're look, this is
We
the
also
best
have
fucking
the-
travel guide you're going to get to Malfeas.
Every time we start somewhere new, just remember you're at the central duchy. I almost
Duchy?
did it.
You did do it.
I did do it. You're at the central duchy every time we start a new part. This guy. English is hard, man.
It's actually Tom's third language.
Quack?
No, you're a quack.
Yes, I know.
That's our producer, everybody.
He's not anymore.
No. Producer, I just edited.
So what are you doing? Where are you sending us, Porter?
Well, I'm actually I want us to end around back to somewhere you wanted to talk about earlier.
Okay.
Which part is that?
Castle Chthonus.
Okay.
Which I'm calling it Chthonus because it kind of looks like Cthulhu.
It's
weirdly...
That's my take on it.
It's spelled with CTH.
Got it.
Or the C silent, and it's just Chthonus, but
I mean,
sure.
Either way, I think, the general consensus around here is that it's,
You had to fit that in, you dick.
What did I say?
No,
I don't know.
You didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Keep going, please.
Okay, so across the courtyard from the Grand Cathedral sits the tallest structure in Malfeas, a black and twisted tower surmounted by barbed crenellations. The tower's outer surface is slippery and viscous, living like crude oil. It engulfs and devours anything that attempts to climb it. Weathered limbs of would-be climbers jut out of the otherwise smooth surface, But even these protrusions drip, enveloped in the rolling black oil. Standing several miles tall, the base of the tower is mostly bare. Only an entrance to the seemingly endless spiral staircase and 3 old-fashioned elevators that creak and groan allow a wary traveler to enter the tower proper.
That's weird as shit.
This tower is the residence of Malfeas' ruler, number 2.
Number 2.
Number2.com.
.com.
Number2.com? Gross.
Sorry, it was repeated, and I had a flashback to last season.
So I had to read that from the book because that is just
it's
amazing.
That's a great description. I'm glad you did. And now, this is where I'm really going to fuck up our structure because we can't talk about the castle without talking about number 2.
Right.
And we can't talk about number 2 without talking about the fucking committee.
Right.
Which is funny because in 20, the committee's not labeled at all.
Yeah, they don't exist in 20.
Not at all.
Which is kind of a bummer.
It is.
But guess what? We're here to talk about it, so all of you who never read Worm 20, or Worm 1...
Or 2, because it's in 2.
Because it's in 2.
There you go. So there's plenty of people out there who only know from 20.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no idea what the committee is.
Right? Well, it was like when we did Ethereal Realm. You know, like the week before it or whatever, I found out that like no one knew what the fuck Moonsilver was.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's only in 1 edition.
Right? It's like, that's the reason I go, though. So yeah. So let's start.
There's still a little bit more to the castle, though.
Oh, badass. Keep going.
All right, so this I just wanted to make, because we touched on this talking yesterday.
Yes.
So, just as it is the highest structure in Malfeas, it is also the deepest. Below ground are a multitude of dungeons and torture chambers used for the most powerful and important prisoners, as well as those who number 2 has taken a personal interest in. Slaves spread rumors that at the bottom level of these dungeons is a pit that leads to the maw of the Eater of Souls.
Yes. Which is funny because, and I know, Danny, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Tom, we talked about this last night. Is in my book, it is to the very maw of, quote, the consuming worm. And you go, what the Sam hell is the consuming worm?
Right. And that was...
See, I was going to speculate that it was a modern version of the Defiler worm. Because first thing you think is the Eater of Souls, which is confirmed over there on Tom's side, but the Eater of Souls was sealed away.
And that's why I was like, but
this
so
is part of the Eater of Souls.
And I mean, I guess, so be it. But, I mean, this was just my speculation going through it the first time. Because obviously you go to Eater of Souls first, but I'm like, well, they've been sealed, so it's got to be the Defiler worm. Because if they're talking, and it's suggested in first edition, that it's literal. Like, there he is. That's where he lives. It's like, no, he's in a pocket realm fighting ghosts.
Yeah.
But we're here in the, it's Eater of Souls.
According to Tony.
An aspect of.
Yes. Well, it says the maw, so it's just his mouth. But still.
Right, but his mouth should be with the rest of him in the pocket realm fighting Krogan ghosts.
Right. Maybe they were able to get it out. I don't know. But like I said, it's slaves. it was slaves speculate. So, I mean, it's not confirmed. I mean, you want to go down there, go ahead.
Right. It could be bullshit.
Go find out for yourself.
You know, it could be an aspect of him. It could be son of Eater of Souls. It could be the Defiler. It could be the Beast of War. We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But there's a pit, and it's something.
And you want to go find out, go ahead, and you're not coming back.
Nah. No, you're not.
Nobody comes back, it says.
I was going to say, there's probably no point in going down there to find out for sure.
Oh, it states right in the book, nobody comes back. So that's why they speculate.
Okay.
So on to number 2.
On to number 2.
This person we keep talking about.
Number 2 is the ruler of Malfeas.
Yes.
And was born a black spiral. You know, at some point, through personal effort and hard work and dedication, was rewarded by the
Those are the
worm.
words we're going to use?
Well, it's all perspective.
It's perspective. It was hard work in their eyes.
Right? Like, it ain't easy killing all those orphans.
It's not easy killing Paxagaru.
Right? You try poisoning the water supply of a civilization, asshole. That is hard work.
Yes, matter of perspective. I get it.
I could have made it worse.
You could have.
There's like 4 or 5 real-life events I could have referenced.
Right. Let's not.
Right? Now, through that hard work, the worm kind of embraced, and not Dracula embraced, but said, hey, come over here. You did good stuff.
Yeah.
You're getting promoted.
I like what you're doing here, yeah.
Yeah. You got a big future in my organization. It's
That's exactly how it says in 20. The triadic worms combine their power to transform them into an incarnate.
Yes. And
This one black spiral, he did so well at his quote-unquote job.
It was such a badass.
Specify. That's why I said them, because I'm trying not to specify.
Well, why are you doing that?
Because the additions are weird.
The additions...
Well, we've already established that.
Well, I think that I don't think it's an issue of the additions are weird, is that one of the additions is an asshole.
My edition.
Yes.
So in first edition, it says what for number 2?
Well, number 2, and this I know this is also true in second edition to a varying degree, is number 2 is referred to as a he, and occasionally as a she or he or she in quotes.
Yeah, it says for second edition, he's known that he, and then parentheses, possibly a she.
And why are we even talking about this?
Because you don't know the identity. Period.
Right, well, this is important. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, through the course of the books, you know, they use he or she for a Kronos, for a Garu. They swap that around here and there, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But this is specifically relevant here because number 2 guards his true identity in a very real fucking way.
Because knowing his identity is his undoing.
Exactly. And it's one of my favorite mysteries of the world of Dark, or of Werewolf, is who is number 2? And there's an answer to that question.
Which we're not going to give because we have a couple more episodes to do so.
Well, I will do as I please.
Fair. Fine. You do what you want. Your show.
They even speculate that number 2 doesn't even know their own name. They've forgotten it to time.
Yeah, it's similar to second edition.
It is a thing, but and there's a problem with that, though. Or at least the problem with the conversion of number 2 into a she.
Which all 20 does is say she.
Yeah. At no point is number 2 referred to as a he.
Not at all. So they're already labeling it that it's a she.
Which kind of takes away, because now you're I guess dwindling down that identity.
It also takes away from Chronicles of the Black Labyrinth.
Yes. Because
it takes
within
that lore and throws it out.
Because within the Chronicles of the Black Labyrinth, they name someone who is referred to as a true dancer and the Lord of Malfeas. Little on the nose there. Like, if you know where you're looking, it's not in bold letters. There's not like spotlights under it.
Number 2's name is this.
Right, but if you're looking for it and you know where to look and you're paying attention...
Yeah. If Chronicle of the Black Labyrinth
specifically says that someone named Flavio, and we'll talk about that later, is number 2. Flavio is male. So if you say that number 2 is a female now, you have erased that entire mystery and turn this into it's a garbage. Here's the secret. You went, you found it. It's trash. It's just retconned out, which I think is bullshit because now you have created a riddle without an answer.
Yeah, the mystery's gone.
Right.
I don't like that.
But there will be more.
Yeah, we're
on that as we go. I have an alternative theory about the identity of number 2.
But that's a different episode.
That is a different episode. We're gonna talk about that as we go.
It's a little tease.
Yes. What is important to mention about number 2 though is he is the ruler of Malfeas. You know, he is literally the worm's number 2. He's my best guy. He rules the place with an iron fist.
Will kill any who suspects that they are plotting against him.
Absolutely. Rules through terror and brute force.
Just because of he doesn't want to lose his power.
There's no fucking around with number 2.
Even if it's just a small suspect.
Doesn't matter. You're dead.
Sometimes he'll just get bored and do it.
Yeah.
He will have purges every now and then. You know, he also has bodyguards.
I was going to say, he's got bodyguards.
A dozen of the most powerful Black Spiral dancers, along with 7 hideous, deadly femori.
All of whom are mystically tied to him. So anything that happens to him actually happens to them.
Yep.
Which
any mortal wounding.
Yeah, because for a second it doesn't give the number of bodyguards like it did for 20.
Yeah, I don't have a number.
It just says, there's no number.
Well, it says dozen.
It just says a pack of huge, brutish black spirals and femori, and they suffer any injuries that he takes.
Yep.
So that's fucking cool.
Yeah, right?
You get almost like the video game boss. You got to take all the mini bosses before you can even touch him.
And beyond that, and I know this is something that does not translate to 20, we have the committee.
Mm-hmm. At first, I thinking maybe the committee is really these bodyguards, but no.
No, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's his personal entourage. And I mean, like, there's no clubhouse. There's no formal membership. And, you know, a lot of the times they're killed by number 2. Or by infighting, or, you know, what have you.
Because he suspects that they're trying to overtake.
Right, or they failed him, or didn't do a good enough job, or he's bored. Or look, man, you don't want to hang.
No, I wouldn't want to work for him either.
No, but, you know, each committee member has their own set of forces under them, and they've been put in charge of shit.
Yeah, like branch managers.
I guess, you know what, I like that.
So don't they only note the ones that have survived the longest under his rule?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have the list.
Okay.
And they're real pieces of work. You've got Flagus, who's the overseer of the realm, who was once a member of a government intelligence organization on Earth. And again,
so cool.
The worm reward him for the service, promotes him up, and it's his duty to keep an eye on everything in Malfeas. You know, you've got Torthor, who is a Black Spiral dancer in charge of the outer affairs of Malfeas.
Yep. And second, they called him General.
Nice.
Yeah, General Torthor.
I like that.
You got a promotion.
Yeah, and he's his things is coordinate like pollution efforts in other realms and domains.
This all sounds very Pentexy.
They've got it locked down. I mean,
Oh, you're right. It makes sense. Maybe that's where they're getting these ideas from.
you have the Grand Vizier Jude.
Jude? No.
No, not Jude.
G?
JIY -UID.
Yeah.
Good luck, motherfucker.
Yep.
All right, then. Well, I mean, obviously, he's a Black Spiral.
Grand Vizier.
Yep. Master Analyst can predict events simply through rigorous logic. He's rumored to be one of the Desians from beyond.
Oh.
Also rumored to be an Incarna also.
Ooh.
Oh, so that powerful then.
Yeah, the speculation is he comes from a race, or he's from a race from a realm far removed from the deep Umbra.
So number 2's keeping his enemies close.
It's like a weirdo alien monster man.
Because this is somebody that could probably take down number 2.
Named Jude.
Yeah.
Keep your keep your friends close, your enemies closer, kind of thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking that is.
That's kind
Could
of cool.
be. And then we have Morgan, who's the warlord of the realm.
Morgan. It's just right.
It's just Morgan.
Just Morgan.
Yep.
All right, it's Chris.
But war.
It's Chris.
Yeah, it's like Flagus and Tolthor and Judy and the Gomra and the Wok
And Christopher Morgan.
Yep.
Chris.
Yep.
Everyone's Chris.
Christopher Morgan. Yep.
It's Morgan. It's him. He's fine. He runs the Orange Julius. Ooh, another almost spit take out of
Almost.
Tom.
Well, that was close.
No, it's he's a Fomori with many powers. Barely resembles human anymore, you know, tentacles and barbs and all that stuff. But he's kind of like the police force. He's ruling that. It's his duty to police the realm. And then finally, Wiona.
The chief torturer.
Yes.
Ooh.
Once a sadomasochistic serial killer, she performed her work in such a way that investigators never suspected she was female. Never caught. And as the police were closing in on her, the Black Spiral stepped from the Umbra and took her with.
Nice.
Worm was very pleased with the warped content of her mind and granted her a position in Malfeas.
Directly under number 2.
Right?
That's
Again,
a
it's
pretty
not-
high station for someone that
It's
just
not
did murder.
verbatim, but it's worded just a little different, but it's pretty close to the same thing here.
Well, it's also worth noting that there are rumors that she's actually Lady Iphy, who is the Malesian Incarna of Pain.
Well, this here says certain Malfian residents are more than a little worried at the not-so-distant resemblance that she shares with Lady Ife.
Look at that. So,
Kind of sad I don't have any of this in 20.
right? Well, and you can now.
Well, if I look at other editions.
No,
yes.
right? Yeah. You know, I kind of like that idea too. That, you know, she has tried or has infiltrated the committee for, quote, some unknown purpose. Figure it out, asshole. It's not going to be good.
Just, that's seems to be a common theme for our speculation now. It's just figure it out, asshole.
Now, jumping back, there are a couple. I mean, there's things we've left out, obviously.
Yeah.
Like Temple Obscura.
I was going to do that further down, but we can do that now.
Oh, I just figure we touched on that on a future episode.
Oh, well, we will spend time with that in a future episode.
I mean, it's part of the realm. We kind of have to at least touch on it.
Oh, yeah, there's no way we're not, you know, giving it a couple minutes at least. Because, of course, the Temple Obscura is the home of the Black Spiral Labyrinth. This
Nine wonderful rooms.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
It's where the action happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the action still happens there.
Mm-hmm.
But, obviously the Temple Obscura lies near the Garden of Nightmares. And it appears as a large Gothic building. The Black Spiral Labyrinth is a great inlaid spiral on the floor of the temple. Air is thick and black, and the stench of sulfur is everywhere. And it's lit only by this sickly green glow, which, you know Balefire, baby. It's Balefire. Don't pretend it ain't.
Don't pretend.
In 20, it's green marble, actually, in 20.
Oh, neat.
Huh.
I kind of like that better.
To me, it was like the heart of the Black Spiral faith.
Well, I mean, that's where they came. It's where it started. It's where the Black Spiral is. But, you've got this mist, hanging in the air, obfuscating whatever's on the ceiling. And there's something there, because you can hear shit crawling and whispering up above the mists.
Oh.
Right?
So it's changed a little in 20.
Ooh, okay.
It's inside the temple. The light comes from small balefires mounted in living sconces.
All right.
Made from the severed arms of prisoners.
Huh.
Jesus.
Love it.
It's the site. It's where the ritual happens.
And what I love there is, everything we just said can all go together.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
No doubt about that.
hell yeah.
Just mix all three versions together would just make it even better.
Right? The floors lined with intricate interweaving patterns drawn in black. But the labyrinth itself, and this is where things get different between 20 and here, is the labyrinth itself is laid out in circles. 9 are known, but there may be more. No one's ever gone further. The center has never been reached, and there might not be a center. There are rumors, however, that those who do reach the center regain their sanity and are able to view the triad in their proper and balanced roles.
Wow.
Weird.
Right. When you talk about dancing the spiral, and we're not going to talk about dancing the spiral today.
No, not today.
That's a future episode.
We got another tease, yeah.
Right, but it is those 9 circles. And I know, Tom, you said 9 rooms. That Werewolf 20 says that there's 9.
Yeah. In 20, it's the interior of the temple consists of a series of 9 rooms, arranged one after the other. Each room represents one of the labyrinth's 9 circles, and every room contains statues and murals pertaining to the torments and the tests awaiting any who dare that circle.
See, and I think, and I'm speculating here because of what's said and what's not, is that the 9 circles that I'm talking coincide, they just added to it, to where it was just the 9 circles, so now it's the 9 rooms, fine. But yeah, I think the big difference here is that there are 9 for 20. We only know of 9 in first edition.
Ooh.
And it's worth noting that only one Garu has ever passed the 9th circle, and his or her name is forgotten.
Because they're number 2.
Exactly.
Is that making number 2? Yeah. Okay. Jesus.
So there's a difference there, and I think it's a relevant difference.
A very relevant difference, yes. But I'd love to keep speculating, but I know we're saving this for an upcoming episode.
Yep.
So
my number 2 speculation is going to cross 3 episodes. Different pieces of the puzzle.
Yep. So yeah. I'll leave it as is, but yeah, you can start going in your own head from there.
And we will absolutely be talking about those 9 circles in 2 episodes. Not next week.
Right. We'll pepper it in again next week, too.
Yeah. But aside from the Temple Obscura, which probably...
should have been last?
Probably should have been. Fuck it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I threw it out there. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
How dare you?
There are a few epiphs that exist in Malfeas.
Do tell.
Well, as you remember, the epiph is a domain of ideas. And the ones that exist in Malfeas are actually dark reflections of the original intent. This is to say, the epiph of courage has a reflection in Malfeas.
See, to me, it was almost like the original epiph. It's almost like a corrupted version of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
They might be referred... I know there's the one of courage, there's the one of logic. And the one of logic is referred to as the Duchy of Logic once.
Oh, really?
So, how they're touched down on in the different editions, I am in the fucking tall grass.
I think we all are.
But you have, I'll start with courage. Is minions of the worm come to that area to gather strength for trials. There's this small alcove containing a statue, which was stolen from the proper Epiph of Courage by a pack of spiral dancers. And it's like the alcove is like 20 square feet, and the floor is black marble, stretched with gray and white patterns. The walls are decorated with panels that depict spiral dancers seizing the statue. The ceiling's domed up 20 feet in the air. It's made of undecorated black marble. And the thing is, the statue's appearance depends on the viewer. Normally it appears as a person or spirit whom the viewer considers courageous. So this becomes like this fucked up prayer site for the spirals.
Yeah.
This is all news to me.
This is all news to you?
Guess what? 20 doesn't have anything in Epiph.
All right.
I mean, for a second, it's there. It's a lot more detail from first. Like, first is more detailed than second. As far as, like, the height and all that. But, like, it's almost exact.
It's completely cut out in 20.
Well, then you don't know about the one of logic either.
Nope.
This is fun. You're going to like this.
But at the same time, I don't think logic's in for second.
Well, the Epiph of Logic also has a twisted counterpart. And the connection with and maybe this is why. Because the connection with the Epiph of Logic isn't strong.
Okay.
Once in Logic's Duchy, your characters might have difficulty functioning in any way at all. And likely you're going to have a lot of trouble escaping. The Duchy of Logic is the heart of logical fallacies. The logic of cause and effect doesn't hold true there. Think about that for a second. Cause and effect doesn't work there. So events will occur before or after the cause, or not at all.
What? I can't even wrap my head around this.
Right. I paraphrased, but I pulled. Mortal beings' perception of time is not an effective tool in this place. Characters will have a great deal of trouble simply moving about, as walking might or might not cause motion to occur.
Holy shit.
Wow.
So, what the hell?
In order to realize what the hell's going on, you have to make a roll of, and you've never made this roll before, I promise, int plus science.
What the
Just
fuck?
to figure it out?
Just to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Wow.
If you succeed in that roll, because
Which you're probably not.
right now half of our listeners are going, science?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, it's not in... If you're in first edition, is science even on? Yes, it is. Yes,
Obviously.
it is. But we're not.
Yeah, obviously.
We're also not class walkers.
But that's one of those stats that you go, is that even on the sheet?
Yeah, it
You've
took
never
me a second.
rolled science.
It took me a second to realize it's...
So
even if it's on my sheet, I've never fucking used it.
right? If you make that roll. Let's see. If it succeeds, the character might perform basic actions, albeit with difficulty. If the player hits 6 successes on that int science roll, they'll be able to conceptualize a way out of the Duchy of Logic, but that will cost you a gnosis point and drop you in the true Epiph of Logic.
The true Epiph.
The real one, not the evil reflection from
Okay,
movies.
okay. That took me a second to realize. Okay.
But I just love the concept. Walking might not cause motion.
Holy Jesus.
I'm still struggling with that. That's
Right?
just nuts. No, thank you.
Like, that's some crazy shit. I love it.
Only in your guys' editions. Completely cut out.
Like I said, logic's not even in here for a second. It's just courage. So, weird as shit. Well, I guess, what does that leave left?
Well, they're the elemental duchies.
I was going to say the Melgian Duchies and the...
Yeah. And I mean, you have...
The Melgian Duchies is what's left, really.
well,
At least as far as
Yeah.
my book goes.
Well, in the elemental reaches. Which I know hold true through the editions pretty well.
Yeah, the elementals are pretty much the same.
Yeah, they're the twisted versions of the standard elementals. So,
Yeah, but as far as second edition goes, they're kind of bunched up with the Melgian Duchies.
Well, show them they're different duchies. They are Melgian and Karna. You have Lord Choke, who in the term they used a lot is mastered or controlled in terms because we have the triadic worms, we have the urges, we know about those, and so when you go to the elemental worms, it's a little different because they're not like they don't have any mind of their own. They're just physical substance. So they're used.
So the four for me are smog, balefire, sludge, and toxin. Those
Yes.
are the elements.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure they're the same.
No, they're the same. It's Hogo the Smogworm, Firmus of Balefire, Sludge, and then Wakshash the Worm of Toxins.
Rolled by Lady Yule, right?
Yep. And that's the thing, is they each have their Maljan Incarna that we're going to use serve in quotes, because again, they're more... it doesn't translate directly like the Urgeworms.
They're the managers.
Right. So it's Lord Choke, Kern, Lord Column, and Lady Yule.
The eastern sky is perpetually stained by the rolling bluish-gray billows of Duchy Choke. In the north, its column broods upon mountains of frost-rimmed debris and fjords carved by glaciers of frozen sewage.
That's the one.
That's where you want to go.
Kern holds court in the heart of active balefire volcano that feeds from the sulphurous lava rivers crossing his domain. And beyond the poison seas of the west stretches a chain of fertile tropic isles aswarm with the deformed brood of Lady Yule.
I mean...
that's about all you need.
that's really all you need.
And again, the differences between the editions here. So
Right, but again, we see that stays...
Yeah, no, that stays true.
Yeah.
The additions.
Right,
You
but
have your
it's-
cardinal
that is static
directions on
through.
where they are, and literally that's identical in their descriptions. So
You know,
they,
and then,
they didn't mess with these ones.
and then of course we do have the Maljan Incarna,
mhm,
and because I know this gets crossed every now and then,
a little bit.
the Urgeworms each have a Maljan Incarna that serves them and acts out their will.
Oh, okay. I kind of see where you're going.
Well, people get that crossed,
Oh, okay. Then I understand why you're bringing it up. Yes.
right? The Urge is the Godfather.
Mhm.
You know, the Maljan Incarna serves that Urge. That's how that goes, and they have their own domains. They have their own duchies, but first edition doesn't give a shit.
Really?
I got nothing on those realms.
Damn.
I got, the Maljan Incarna and which urge they serve,
hmm
but they don't talk about the realms at fucking all.
Hmm.
So if there's anything you guys can add to that, amazing.
I didn't want to just read from the book, but I did little descriptions of each one.
That's something, and it's...
Yeah. So you got Duchy Elira.
Elira?
Elira. I'll take Elira. It's like a rather beautiful place. You wouldn't expect to see how gorgeous it is here, and you're really given everything you've ever wanted. Slaves will just hand it
It's
to
a
you.
pleasure palace is what
Yep,
they
pleasure
said
palace.
in
That
20.
works.
Yeah, and that's because she serves Karnala, the Urge of Desire.
Okay.
Ah.
But, you'll...
Yeah, they didn't give us any of the urges in these.
See,
So
good.
that's where it's different from first edition to these, because
Yeah.
it gives us all the duchies, but it doesn't give us the urge farms.
See, there you go.
So it's like
we're
the
putting
place,
this together.
Yeah, it's like the place you never want to leave. But then, by the time you see all the rot that's underneath, anytime the rot becomes visible, now you have no choice but to stay. It's too late.
I mean, it's about what you expect, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be like, oh, you found out that, it's all rotten and decayed, and, well, now you can go, though, if you want.
This Lady Lyra likes to bring in people, give them their pleasures for a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what you can get if you go do this thing for me.
Well, see, that doesn't give that in.
Well, it's what
2, but
20 does.
It makes sense then. Yeah, I like this crossing here.
Oh, exactly.
But then, speaking of crossing, because this apparently doesn't happen.
No,
the next one.
you're the only one that has this one.
Duchy Steel.
Lord Steel.
Yeah.
Yep, no.
I mean, obviously it's Lord Steel, but like.
You have this one in first edition?
Yeah, he serves Abhorra, the Urge of Hatred.
Okay. It's 20. Got rid of them.
So in hospital.
So fucked up.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's like in hospitable mountains, and you can hire guides. You can hire a guide to help you through like the different mountain passes.
Let me just go talk to this Scrag and have
Yeah.
him help me.
Right? Like the idea of hiring a Melfian Sherpa
Oh.
to go hang out with Lord Steel
Yeah, they
is
can't be trusted,
just...
I mean, obviously they can't be trusted. They will try and kill you any chance they get.
Yep. Turn your back once, you're dead.
But on the very top, really, it's like a heavily fortified keep, and it's bare walls, stone floors, lightless windows. It's Lord Steel, and he rarely ever gets visitors. And if he does, he's not a very good host.
What?
Shocking.
What?
Because who's going to go hire that Sherpa?
Fucking the Lord serving the urge of hatred isn't a good... I don't understand you. That place should be feasts on feasts. It should be 100 Mardi Gras up there.
100 Mardi Gras, huh?
Boy.
Sweet. Then you got Duchy de Bois. It's
Dubois.
Dubois?
It's
Dubois?
French, maybe.
It serves Sulek, the urge of lies.
Lies, really?
Yeah, that's weird. Because, like, here it's like modern office buildings. And it's like a
It's very Pentex.
little bit.
I just wrote down a little note for myself. Duchy Dubois is like the place of getting shit done.
Kinda.
Because you go there to get shit done. Like, they will write contracts and get stuff done.
But
It's very
doesn't sound
business-like.
too far off then, does it?
Well, sure, but now go with second edition here. Because you'll find yourself strolling along Main Street, an all too immaculate urban street lined with modern office buildings, heading toward the Hall of Justice and Truth.
Lies. I was gonna say, I'm sorry, Superman's the Hall of Justice?
Oh, there you go.
We've got Batman and the Green Lantern hanging out. And...
But again, the Hall of Justice and Truth.
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, ready? Here the Honorable Maine Dubois Esquire provides free consultation to all visitors.
Very lawyered.
On whose behalf he employs the finest, sharpest minds and most diligent workers in Malfeas to investigate, research, and document every detail of the truth, no matter how small. And then just leaves it buried in the tons of paperwork that the Duchy generates.
I feel like that tracks.
That's slightly different than
That's
what
what
I
it was
have,
like.
because mine it's just an office building. It's not like a whole street of offices. No, it's just one office building.
No Hall of Justice?
maze-like corridors and elevators that stop and start almost at random.
Oh, but if you have any complaints about the information you were trying to get, any complaints can be directed to the small, out-of-the-way office reserved for just that purpose, and more obscure and hard-to-find office, which will turn the plaintiff to another out-of-the-way office, and then so forth and so forth, just never
Shoveling
finding
you through offices. Yeah.
Yep. And then at the same time, straying too far away from the office, the courthouse will leave the party lost in an endless stretch of squalid, decaying inner urban tenement blocks.
And like
That's
Dwight
about
Wilson
the same.
mows after you.
Yeah, that's about the same.
So it was like the urge of lies, but yet he's the esquire of truth here.
You're not seeing the correlation?
No, I know it.
Burying the truth.
Yeah, I get
And-
it. That's why
okay.
it's awesome.
All right. I thought you were protesting there. I'm like, no, it's fucking.
It's
that's
awesome.
perfect.
And then the one thing they put in 20 is, even those who venture into Duchy Dubois to attempt to destroy it or slay the Melgian Incarnate himself eventually find an office that can help, but for a price. So you can get your information and have an office that'll help you to destroy its own place.
I love it.
But there's a price.
Does it
There's
say
always a price.
Does it say what the price is?
No,
Of course not.
Storyteller discretion.
Right?
And it better be a good price.
And I didn't want to just read off this one, but this one was so good. And especially knowing the urge of lies, that was cool as hell. So the next one would be Duchy Ife.
Mm-hmm.
Serving Engu, the urge of cruelty.
I put down torture, but that works too.
Yeah, it's just torture chambers.
That's literally all it is. It's just, this is where you go to get tortured.
Okay, that's a bummer.
Well, I mean, for here it does say that keeps at least one dungeon cell set aside for every different type of agony she can think of to inflict.
Well, that's all well and good, but I'm talking about in terms of like when you reference with the committee. With the idea of that she has infiltrated the committee, but like the persona she's using as a torturer, we couldn't. I mean, that's like the Groucho glasses of. She's not exactly incognitus here. That's all I'm saying.
She's the informant. She's the one gathering the information, though. I mean, got to do it through torture. It's the best way to do it.
No, I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying if you're trying to infiltrate number two's fucking inner circle by pretending to be someone else, maybe you shouldn't.
The Groucho glasses.
Yeah, like maybe you shouldn't do the same job and look the same. She just changed the name on her name tag. Like, I'm not Lady Ife. What are you talking about?
I see where you're going.
Right? That's all. That's just a little.
That's
little
why I'm
bummer.
laughing at the Groucho glasses.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what those are, right?
No, I don't want to know.
Seriously?
Yeah, keep going.
The glasses with the big nose and the mustache?
Yes, I know what those are.
Okay. You said no.
Yeah,
I
but
believed you.
he says no to most things.
Fair.
That's true. Next, then, would be Duchy Clips. Or Clipes. Clips? I'll go Clips. Sure.
It's like another nightmare garden, but not a garden.
Right, it's another labyrinth.
Yep.
Which serves the urge of paranoia.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense, yeah, because you can't leave. You can try your hardest. You cannot leave this little labyrinth without permission.
Each corridor contains elements from every nightmare about getting lost or searching for a location that is impossible to find.
That's great.
Once inside this Duchy, impossible to find one's way out unless one secures the personal permission of the Doge. What the fuck, dude? Okay, next.
Doge Clips amuses himself by making certain that some visitors who come here to slay him spend decades or centuries wandering the corridors.
Jesus.
That's outstanding.
Then next would be Dutch Thurifuge.
Who serves Letharg, the urge of apathy.
Yeah, and he's the Lord of Disease. So here it's kind of like a cross between a hospital, factory, and an oil refinery.
So, like my apartment.
I wasn't gonna say it out loud.
I put it was it's kind of like research and development. Like that's what this place is. This is where they're getting their research done, and they're developing more ways to make more bad people.
Well, I like that, because it gives a greater context of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of these realms, I mean, obviously we're doing the paraphrase, we're not going the super deep dive in the individual duchies.
Well, I mean,
For
you
these
need all
urges.
3 editions to really get a good deep dive into it. Because
Right.
I'm hearing stuff from him that I didn't really have in 20, and
Yeah, I mean,
you
we're
didn't have
putting,
much in first.
Yeah, we're putting the pieces together, but I like to have that greater context there. Because, like, what goes on in these duchies, it's a whole fucking, it's a goddamn ecosystem here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to, like that, oh yeah, fucking Therafuge, it's like R&D. It's good.
Then you have Duchy Hell. Is it in 20?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
your favorite place. You love hell.
I love Hell, huh? Alright. This is the domain of the Hellbringer, but it was sealed off by number 2.
Yeah, I have nothing about that whatsoever.
I'm curious on what 20 says.
It consists of a war-torn landscape surrounding a blasted city. Here slaves and captives battle for their freedom. They must defend against areas of the armies of the Hellbringer, and if they succeed for at least 3 days, they go free.
That's interesting.
Of course, almost all of them die in an attempt, and most of the few who win sacrifice so much that they are left warped by the experience. And they will willingly join Hellbringer's army at that point. So no matter what, you're trapped there because of this endless onslaught.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I like the fact that it was sealed off by number 2, though. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, the thunderous battlefields that are in there, because that is similar to the
20
second
doesn't
edition.
say that they're sealed off. Number 2.
No, I don't know,
sealed
but
off
like,
in 20.
as far as the description of there is, it is similar to second edition, but it also says those battlefields, the borders, share with other duchies.
Yes. I was getting to that part.
Even
Yeah.
connects to the atrocity realm.
Exactly, yep.
No, that makes sense.
So when captives are in short supply or occasionally to provide a diversion, the Hellbringer attacks the central duchy. So far, he has never succeeded. If he ever does, success would simply transform the Hellbringer into a new number 2 and cause a new Hellbringer to appear.
Shit.
Interesting.
So when he's bored, he'll just attack the central duchy.
That's interesting, yeah. This is all...
It's awesome, though.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's just none of it. I got none of that shit.
Oh, well, there you go. Something brought in to second edition and expanded on in 20.
Fucking great.
So, but yeah, those are the next are the elemental duchies, and we just did
Which
those.
we touched on. Which is funny because there are more urge worms
Well, there's
and
more
Mills
there's more duchies in 20. You got the border duchies in 20.
I was
Okay.
gonna say the border duchies are here too. I just didn't do it yet.
Oh, okay.
Go for it. It's fine.
The first one is mainly a wasteland. It's the larger of the two. Consists of a desert that lies between the Melgian duchies surrounding the central duchy and the 4 outer elemental realms. This is like that in between. Here, a hot black sun and a curdled violet sky dominates the days. The freezing nights are entirely devoid of light, and the desert consists of shifting sand and parched winds that periodically create massive sandstorms.
Nice.
Occasionally, the sandstorms form themselves into a gigantic version of the Nameless Angel of Despair, which is...
The Nameless Angel of Despair, that shit rings a bell. See, that's the Melgin Incarna that serves Gree the Urge of Despair.
Interesting.
And then the other one is a patches of fetid swamp laying between some of the inner duchies comprised of the other duchy. These swamps are actually part of one huge marshland, and anyone who wanders it may stumble upon paths that lead from one small swamp to another. The swamps house particularly damaged and defective Fomori who fled other portions of Malfeas to dwell here. It is also home to Banes that fled service when they angered their master. You get deep within any of these swamps, visitors may also glimpse Knight Entropy. He claims these swamps are his own, and even stables his horse in one, though never the same one twice.
Interesting.
That's why I don't know who Knight Entropy is.
I don't either.
Okay.
I mean, we can...
Similar for a second. It's just worded a little differently, but...
Like, I mean, we could put those words together and know what they mean and, you know, connect those dots, but I don't have anything.
There's one more.
Oh, so I don't have one more for a second.
You don't have the Earth Pit?
I lied. That is in there. I thought we talked about it already.
We did not.
No, we
talk
did
about
not.
the Earth
My
Pit.
mistake.
We talked about how I wanted to hear about the Earth
And
Pit.
we're ending on the Earth Pit. That's
Okay,
it.
my mistake. I just thought we talked about it already.
Well, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
For werewolves, one of the most dangerous locations in all of Malfeas is the Earth Pit. Located in a canyon between one of Knight Entropy's swamps and the desert of the Nameless Angel of Despair, the Earth Pit is a wide region that duplicates the overall features of many of Earth's most pristine and thriving landscapes, but as a poisoned and toxic parody of the originals.
All right.
A version of Australia's Great Barrier Reef is an open sewer filled with dead fish and cancerous coral. A duplicate of the vast African veldt is a radioactive wasteland filled with dying mutant animals, and instead of pristine wilderness, the version of Alaska is awash in a hungry living oil.
That's neat.
The realm's greatest danger is the fact that moon bridges opened in blights and hellholes often lead directly to the Earth Pit. A shapeshifter battling minions of the worm might attempt to escape via a moon bridge, only to discover herself now trapped somewhere far worse. To the natives of Malfeas, the Earth Pit is a vision to strive towards, while to the Garu it is a visceral reminder of the price of failure.
That's kind of what I got out of this from second. I mean, that's way more descriptive than here it is. This is just a bad reflection of polluted and decaying Earth.
Yep. It's what Worm is striving for.
Yeah, but that last part of it, what the worm is trying to get out of the Earth here, and to Gaians, it's what we don't want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Not only is that pretty fucking rad, but it speaks to the vastness of Malfeas,
Oh yeah,
which we
by
argued
far.
about at the top of the show.
Seems a lot larger now to me.
Right? Like,
Even though at
suddenly,
the beginning of it started right in this, it's like, no, it grows tall, it grows up. But then you just told me about this gigantic, massive landscape.
right, we went
there.
from Alaska to the Great Barrier Reef
Right.
in a section
Yeah.
Of Malfeas.
Yeah, a section between two things.
Between the Melgin.
Like a little fucking sub-area.
Yeah.
Between the elemental duchies and then the Melgin duchies.
I almost did it again.
Well, you think about it though, because and I don't remember if I said it or not, but the very basic description of Malfeas itself was that it's ever growing. And any time any other realm is starting to get corrupted, Malfeas is growing even more. And how many fucking times do we do all these near realms that it's starting corruption, or this is an absolute corruption? Every time that happens, and the more corrupted that near realm gets, the bigger Malfeas is getting.
And the stronger some of its fucking Desians.
Exactly.
And before we move on, we can talk about what the hell you're doing there. We call this episode the Attack on Malfeas. But there are plenty of reasons. Perhaps to hunt down heroes that have been imprisoned, who have been captured by the worm and taken to Malfeas, perhaps in preparation to dance the spiral, or to be sacrifices to summon something out of the Wyld Founts.
Hopefully you're there to
glorious.
destroy the Wyld Founts, because that'll just take out Malfeas
It'll damage it.
for a long time.
But you see what I'm saying? We're looking for that. That's a reason to go too. A strike at the Temple Obscura, if that was something that's in your heart. Getting lost is a thing that you can do in Malfeas. We talk about the realm. It's like, what do you do with it? There's plenty you can do here. Your players themselves could be enslaved and brought down. Mm-hmm. Maybe they got a wild hair across their ass. They want to be fucking strong, and they want to find out where that train from Scar really goes.
Or they were traversing the abyss, and all of a sudden, boop, you're there.
Right? But I think if
bad ideas.
Malfeas is ever the intended goal, it should never be a day trip.
No, that's a
definitely not.
Chronicle's worth.
I think it definitely should be, or at least a significant arc.
Yeah, that's not a, we're going in, we're getting what we came out of.
It's not a one and done story.
No.
Because good luck trying to find your way out. I mean, it'd be your first time there, and we labeled it. There's not many ways out.
No. And there's so much of it. And so many warring factions and different forces. I mean, let's keep in mind, I know we didn't mention it, but I feel like, it bears repeating, even though we didn't say it today. Mm-hmm. The Hydra, that is the worm, is at war with itself also.
Everything there is fighting each other.
Yeah.
That's just what's going on.
We talk about the Urge Worms. They each have different agendas and different goals. And their Meljian and Karna, as they serve them, have their own agendas and goals. And they compete and they conflict and they fucking hate each other.
And they're constantly in each other's way.
So maybe
you're getting in that way too.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of it too. You find yourself in Malfeas.
It's a good way to sneak around, though. They're busy fighting each other.
Or you become a pawn in that game.
Oh yeah,
that's Lord Steel uses you to fuck over Lady Ife.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Not those two,
but
still.
I just pulled two out of the hat.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you're just gonna be a pawn at that point.
Just don't go work for the Hellbringer.
But at that point, what do you do? You say no. He can't just leave.
Or you assist the Hellbringer when he's attacking the Central Duchy.
Maybe.
Yeah, but what kind of...
either way, there's not a good answer.
No, there really isn't. But still, you could write some stories around this.
You could. The idea of being caught in the crossfire, two warring fucking Meljian and Karna, while you're just stuck here and lost in the realm.
Right.
Like, you didn't get pulled in, they'll be great pawns. No. You were just there and are now an extra victim.
Yeah, this isn't...
The point is there are so many different angles you could use to work Malfeas into a game. Even just as a looming presence and not going there. But if you're gonna go,
be prepared.
Be prepared. Make it dark. Make it scary. And make it a bigger deal. This is not a one and done kind of thing.
No, this place is awesome, but bad.
Right. That said, this is our one and done at Malfeas.
Well, maybe not one and done. I'm sure we'll come back to it, but
we'll talk about it more, but not in this way. We are, however, we talked a lot about the different inhabitants of Malfeas. We talked about the Temple Obscura, and so next week.
Oh, we're giving it to them?
Oh, hell yeah! Why not?
Okay.
Next week, we're going to talk about some of those inhabitants.
Oh.
Before.
Oh, I like it.
White Howlers next week, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say, so we're going to finish off this series with the Deer Realms, give them a tease that we're finishing off that series with the Lost Ones.
Right? So we will
Been a long time coming.
Right? So the origins of the Temple Obscura and the Garu who fell there in the original days. Stay tuned next week. In the meantime, on behalf of Mr. Tommy Dixon and Mr. Daniel Tyson and myself, I want to thank you for listening. We want to say take care of yourselves, take care of each other, keep your claws sharp, your head on a swivel. Take it easy.